Hi everyone, today I'm showing you 6 new 6x6 embossing folders by the Creative Craft Products brand. So we've already brought out the 5x7 ones and you'll be able to find that video on the channel, but we've now brought out these new 6x6 designs. So you've got your Holly Swirls, and this is the one that I'm going to be demoing today. Really nice one there with the holly leaves and the berries and the swirls in the background. This one of my favourites, is the Falling Stars. I love that effect, it looks lovely with mirrored card. Another favourite of mine is the candy canes. I think this is so cute. You've got the little bows and the polka dots there as well. Then you've got the trailing stars. This is similar to the 5x7 version where they ran vertically, but they had a sentiment in the middle of that folder as well. So check it out. They'll all be on the website, but this one here just has those stars all over. And then these two here are your frames. So really nice if you've got some lovely bold sentiments that you like to use, or maybe a nice stamped image that you want to have in the middle, and then that embossed detail around the edge. So you've got your poinsettia frame and you've got your festive border frame there. So I'm going to do a fun kind of like bit of a watercolor kind of effect, but I'm going to use my Distress Oxide inks, and it's using, like I said, that Holly Swirls. So I've already gone ahead and embossed it, and you can see all of that lovely detail that we get here. And now what I want to do is colour this in quite roughly, and then we're going to cover it in a lot of water so our inks can react with it. We're then going to emboss it again, and then we're going to add some gilding wax onto it as well. So I've just brought the camera down a little bit closer here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you don't want precision with this, so you don't need to keep in the lines, but we do want to roughly, so for example, I want to get the greens around where the leaves are, the red where the berries are, and so on. So I'm using here Festive Berries, which is the Distressed Oxide ink, and I've got one of my stencil brushes here. Again, these are all available on the website. And just going to load that up, and I'm just going to brush this over the berries. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it goes over the edges. Okay, so that's my berries covered. I'm then going to use Rustic Wilderness, again in the Distressed Oxide. And again, now what I'm going to do is just brush. I'm just kind of flicking it out, just so I don't go too far onto the red. But again, don't worry too much. Once we start adding the water onto this, you're not going to notice it. Okay, next I'm going to use some tumbled glass, and on the embossing folder, on the deboss side, so where it's quite flat and smooth, I want to add some blue. Now you do want a lighter colour for this. Basically what I want to do is colour a lot of this space here so it has the blue on it, but because it's a light colour, it's not going to, take away too much from this. I'm just loading up my brayer here. You can just brush it over, but I do find the brayer a little bit easier. Excuse the squeaking. Now we can always go over this again as well, so don't worry if at this point it's not quite how you want it, but I'm just going to lock this back into place. You will be able to feel it. It locks in, and then just drop this down, like so. And now I'm going to run that through my machine. So carefully open it up. So now you'll see it's started to colour the background, but it hasn't gone over any of the white, which is where I'm going to be adding the gilding wax. Now I think I'm going to go over that again. So I'm just going to repeat that process. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think I might have had a bit of a greeny tinge on my brayer because it's more of a greeny background, but I think it still all works really nicely. So now I've just got some water in a bottle here, and I'm just going to cover this. I want to make it pretty wet. The idea is that the inks will react, they will move, and you'll see we start to get this really lovely effect. So everything will now start to blend on its own, and you'll start to see the detail in the leaves and the berries really coming through. Of course, this is optional, but it does give it a really nice effect. And now I'm going to start to heat set this. And as I apply the heat, it's going to move some of that colour around. Okay, so that's all dry. Next, we're going to add the gilding wax. Now, I did in my head think I was just going to add it to the swirls, but I actually quite like the white swirls. So I think I'm going to add this just over the top of the leaves. So just load it up on your finger. There's different ones out there. They're not all like this. And then I always like to, just going to rub a little excess off, and then just very carefully just apply it to the leaves. And then I think I just want to go over the red, so I'm just going to use my alcohol marker here. So I've just trimmed that piece down to 5.5 squared, and I'm popping it onto a 6x6 card blank with a gold matte layer, and I've just wrapped some baker's twine around this, and I've given myself a very thin gold frame. I pop the foam there so it just levels with the twine. I'm going to have my sentiment covering the middle portion. Just want to have like a little, there we go, so you can see all of the different layers. So that's everything stuck down, and then I always like to finish with my accent glaze, and I'm just going to add this over the berries, and I think it will just add a really nice finishing touch. It does go on, obviously, as you can see, quite cloudy, and I've done that quite thick, so I will show you it when it's all dry. Okay, so there is the finished card. There's still a little bit of cloudiness on the accent glaze where it's a bit thicker, but it is drying, and it will just reveal that lovely red colour below with that shine over the top. Got the lovely detail there with the twine. You've got all of that embossed detail, and then the coloured inks, the gilding wax which catches the light there really nicely. So just another fun, just creative way to use your embossing folders. How I did this one, you can apply to any of these ones here and any that you have in your stash. It's just nice to sit down, get a bit messy and create something. So I hope you've enjoyed this one from me today. Like I said, all of this product is available now on the CraftStash website, and you can find that by clicking on the link here. If you've enjoyed today and you're not subscribed, click here and then you can subscribe to our channel, and you'll find another technique based video coming up here that you might want to watch next.